Hello, greetings to all the mystics and the dreamers out there. Hello to everyone in YouTube land. My name is Belle, and I'm here to do a tarot reading today. I don't have that many extra words or insights for the beginning, but let's just see what comes up through the cards. There's my cat Jenny in the background. She'll be hanging out with us a little bit too, I guess. Okay, the tarot decks I'm using are Chrysalis Tarot, Joie de Vivre Tarot, and Shadowscapes Tarot. And I'm pulling 4 cards from each deck. And so that's a lot of cards, so we'll see how many good ideas we can interpret through the imagery. Okay, the first card is Ace of Mirrors. This is interesting. Okay, so I've been thinking this morning about emotional baggage and how to release it, and kind of like negative emotional baggage from the past. And to me, this kind of fits with that because it's kind of like taking a look at yourself in the mirror, and not literally, but taking a look at like what's going on with you and stuff. So this fits in with that. Second card of the Chrysalis Tarot is the Muse, Queen of Spirals. It's like the spiral path plus the idea of the Muse. That's really cool. The third card, 9 of Spirals. Wow. This is like a force of nature, and you're not really sure which spiral path you'll be caught up in. So it's like the winds of change blowing in all directions. It's kind of interesting. And for the fourth card of the Chrysalis Tarot, we have, this card is coming up a lot. It's the Storyteller, the Hermit card. Maybe this is a signal to the writers out there that you should write your stories. You should write down the things that you want to write down. I know I need to do that. It's a beautiful card. The Hermit is like a wise person. Someone who contemplates life. And I don't think, traditionally when we say a hermit, we mean someone who's a little bit antisocial, but in the tarot, I think of the Hermit card a lot differently. It's maybe a little bit of a solo path, but it's not really about being antisocial. It's more about the positive side of the solitude and the wisdom that can be gained from that. So those 4 cards were really interesting. Ace of Mirrors, 2 spiral cards, and then the Hermit Storyteller card. That's pretty cool. Okay, now let's move on to Joie de Vivre Tarot. These are kind of whimsical cards. It's almost like Alice in Wonderland a little bit or something. Okay, the first card is 5 of Cups. This is interesting. So this character is glancing back and seeing the dead flowers there. It's like looking backwards and seeing the parts of the past that you really can't stand. But then by looking at the dead flowers, this character is missing the flowers that are still alive. So it's about where you place your focus. Second card of the Joie de Vivre Tarot is the Empress. And actually, it's a kind of a birth and death card, like the cycles of regrowth through birth, death, and rebirth, because she has like a lot of different symbols going on. She has the eggs, the bird's eggs on her hat with some stars, but she also has the skulls on the skirt of her dress. So there's like so much symbols going on here. So I really think this is talking about different cycles of regrowth. And if something dies, something new can be reborn. Like nature keeps on going. You don't ever have a season that's the last season. Like after winter comes spring. third card is Eight of Coins. This is kind of interesting because I ran into this card while I was shuffling. So it's kind of interesting that it actually came up. It's like a magician card. The magician is conjuring different ideas, different really cool wisdom or spells. It's kind of interesting how much we conjure all the time through the way we think about things, the way our attitude is, the way our approach is to life. So this card with this imagery is a good reminder to keep an eye on what you're conjuring for yourself in your life, and to make sure you're creating what you want to create as best you can. Fourth card of the Joie de Vivre Tarot is King of Wands. The king character is riding this fantastical pink lion. Kind of seems like this king is used to getting his own way. And it looks like the lion and the king have kind of a mischievous expression on their faces. They're up to no good. They're causing trouble. I don't know. It's about being mischievous? I'm not sure. Maybe it's about the parts of life that you can't control that keep driving you a little crazy, but it's actually the parts that keep things going sometimes in a good direction, or allow you to question things, allow you to go back and reflect and determine how you actually want to do things. It's like, what is this called? Like the trickster, I guess. The trickster character. Okay. So we're getting a wide variety of images here, as would be expected by drawing so many cards. But I really like reflecting on these different facets of life. It's really fun. Next, we will move on to the 4 cards from the Shadowscapes Tarot. Let's see what comes up. The first card of Shadowscapes is 4 of Wands. These gazelle-like unicorns are really kind of happy because they're enjoying kind of bounding or floating through the air. So this is an uplifting card. A card about joy and finding what can raise your spirits a little bit. And then 5 of Cups. To me, this card is about letting go. She has a fish bowl, and she's about to let a fish go back to the ocean. And I think this could be symbolic of letting go of something emotional from the past, or releasing something, possibly through forgiving yourself, like forgiving yourself and releasing that old energy. Third card is Temperance. This is a really cool card. I like the way that the yin and yang symbol is drawn there in this orb that the fairy is holding. Temperance. I usually think of this card as a card of balance. Just taking everything step by step and making sure you stay balanced, because that's a lot more comfortable, a lot more being at ease in life. And the last card is 4 of Cups. This is the Mermaid, who's kind of languishing. She's kind of wistful. She's dwelling on kind of sad thoughts or something like that. She's not having that much fun. So we've got so many cards here. We just had the whole spectrum of different facets of life, from this lovely card about birth, death, and rebirth, to cards about balance, cards about the trickster, asking you to reflect on life and possibly move in a different direction, or move more confidently in the direction you want to go in. And we had this card about conjuring what you really want to conjure. So, as usual, it's been that multifaceted view of life that is really great through the tarot imagery. I really appreciate you tuning in today. I enjoyed looking at the cards. It's a lot to reflect on. I wonder if you would pick out one or two cards. Which of the two cards would you pick to reflect on from the ones that we had today? That would be pretty interesting to kind of go back and pause the video and look at a certain card and reflect on it yourself. That might be fun. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.